Tu m'énerves de plus en plus, mon fils. C'est moi qui t'ai créé et c'est moi qui vais t'achever. Il n'y a que les ténèbres qui t'attendent, Kratos.
Calliope.
Mère, j'ai peur. Ils vont venir nous chercher.
Ton père va nous protéger.
Brûlez ce village! Brûlez-moi tout ça!
Kratos!
Ma femme, ma fille, elles étaient à Sparte. Arrête!
Kratos! Viens, je peux te montrer le chemin. Fais vite! Je peux aider, Kratos! Kratos, dans les ténèbres, les flammes de l'espoir nous libéreront.
Vous voyez la lumière. Elle vous change. Il est temps d'oublier enfin la peur qui vous ronge. La lumière révèle la vérité. Le pouvoir de pardonner vient de l'intérieur. Pour être pardonné, vous devez trouver la force de le faire vous-même.
Par ici! Non, Kratos! Arrête!
Athéna! Non!
Kratos. C'est la peur qui a poussé Zeus à tuer son père, Chronos. Cette même peur qui a mené à la Grande Guerre. La peur qui a poussé Zeus à te tuer, toi, son propre fils. Zeus utilise cette peur pour te garder dans les ténèbres. Affronte tes démons et donne-leur le repos.
Par ici, Kratos!
Les dieux de l'Olympe m'ont abandonné. Désormais... Te souviens-tu de ce jour, Spartiate? Je ne te laisserai pas la blesser.
Bonne chance avec cette traînée que tu appelles Pandore.
Tu ne peux pas composer ton destin.
Je t'ai tout donné, tout ce que j'avais.
Par pitié, ne fais pas ça, Spartiate. Tu as eu ce que tu voulais. Laisse-moi tranquille.
Meurs, Spartiate.
Aujourd'hui, tu me bats peut-être. Mais en fin de compte, Kratos, en fin de compte, tu le trahiras de toi-même.
Viens, je peux te montrer le chemin.
Kratos! C'est moi qui t'ai créé et c'est moi qui vais t'achever!
Fais vite!
Pourquoi ne meurs-tu pas? Meurs! Tremble de peur!
Kratos! Ah! Par ici, Kratos!
Silence!
Vite, Kratos! Kratos, je t'en prie. J'ai besoin que tu me libères.
Ne l'écoute pas, Kratos! Pour une fois dans ta vie pathétique, ne sois pas lâche! Ne l'abandonne pas comme tu as abandonné ta famille!
Tout ira bien, Kratos. Kratos, tu sais qu'il n'y a pas d'autre solution. Tandis que la peur des dieux grandissait, la mienne était remplacée par l'espoir.
Le pouvoir de tuer un dieu!
C'est l'espoir qui nous rend forts. C'est grâce à lui que nous sommes ici. C'est avec l'espoir que nous combattons quand tout le reste est perdu.
Félicitations, Kratos. Libéré du joug de l'Olympe et lavé par le chaos, l'humanité est maintenant prête à entendre mon message.
Regarde alentour, Athéna. Le monde est en ruine. Ton message ne peut pas être bon.
Pars si tu le dois. Mais d'abord, donne-moi le pouvoir qu'il y avait à l'intérieur de la boîte.
La boîte était vide.
C'est impossible. Je le vois dans tes yeux. Mon pouvoir t'a aidé à tuer Zeus. Tu l'as encore en ce moment. Tu ne comprends donc pas? Lorsque Zeus a rassemblé tous les mots et les a placés dans la boîte, j'ai craint ce qui arriverait si quelqu'un l'ouvrait de nouveau. Et ainsi, j'ai invoqué l'arme la plus puissante au monde et je l'ai placée dans la boîte.
Je te l'ai dit, elle était vide. Pandore s'est sacrifiée en vain. Elle est morte. À cause de ma soif de vengeance.
Tu dois te tromper. Tu as tué Zeus avec mon pouvoir. Je t'ai vu le faire. À moins que... Bien sûr. Lorsque tu as ouvert la boîte, tu as libéré les mots sur les dieux. Ils les ont contaminés. Transformés. Zeus lui-même est devenu la proie de ces mots maléfiques. Ce qui explique pourquoi il est devenu si enragé et obsédé par ta mort. Il était dévoré par un de ces mots. La peur. Je pensais que le pouvoir que j'avais placé dans la boîte n'avait jamais été libéré. Pendant toutes ces années, j'étais convaincu que tu avais puisé dans ces mots pour détruire Arès. Et j'avais tort. Le pouvoir dans lequel tu as puisé est le mien. Tu as acquis une force que Zeus ne peut pas détruire. Une force suffisamment grande pour surmonter la peur. Au plus profond de toi, Kratos, sommeille l'espoir. Il est resté enfoui, piégé par tes remords et les fautes de ton passé. Quand tu as tué Zeus, tu as dû le débloquer et le réveiller. Qu'y a-t-il, Kratos?
C'est l'espoir qui nous rend forts. C'est grâce à lui que nous sommes ici. C'est avec l'espoir que nous combattons quand tout le reste est perdu.
Qu'y a-t-il, Kratos?
Tout ce dont je me souviens, c'est ce que j'ai perdu.
C'est pourquoi tu dois me donner le pouvoir. Je connais sa vraie signification et son origine. Je sais que tu feras les bons choix, Kratos.
Tu ne devrais pas.
Tu me le dois, Kratos.
Je ne te dois rien du tout.
J'ai fait de toi un dieu. Je t'ai protégé de la colère de l'Olympe. J'ai assouvi ta vengeance envers Zeus.
C'est terminé, Athéna.
Tu oserais me terrasser? Encore?
Ma vengeance s'achève.
Kratos, non! Imbécile! Qu'as-tu donc fait? Ça m'était destiné! Ils ne sauront même pas quoi en faire! Tu me déçois, Spartiate.
love brainstorming. That's one of the best things about games. Right from the beginning, it's
just a creative process.
Yeah, it's fun.
What happened to the original concept art for Poseidon? No, the concept art for a Titan, a water Titan.
Can we bring it up on here? Yeah, that's fucking sweet. That's really fucking cool.
He's even got the tentacles. Whatever we come up with, it's like, hey, that would be cool. We just make it form out of water, whatever it might be.
A lot of talented people were sitting in that room figuring out, oh, this would be cool, this would be neat, throwing out all these ideas out, doing our best to trying to live up to the God of War 1 and 2 standards, which are insane.
Really high.
It's like it has to be like almost like in a shape that's like scary.
I agree with that. When you pull the camera out, what do you see? And if it is like he's turned into like a huge squid and she's all tied up or something like that. But as you're like fucking flea size and as you're running around, you see a big part of this.
What do you think about maybe that whatever that thing is, it's a lot of different things?
It's everybody, you know, it's not just one person that comes to the table and has, okay, here's the perfect idea. It's everybody rifting together.
Just like the idea that Poseidon swells up with water and just becomes semi-translucent and you can see all of his veins and stuff. And so that way you're actually hitting flesh.
Going off of sort of like Will's idea and a combination of the things that we talked about is his skin is basically like a jellyfish. On the inside of his body, he has all the bones. He has actually a bone structure. That way we have a creature that, you know, looks like it has some meat to it, made out of the ocean.
So I think, like, going off of what you were talking about, where it's like maybe you've got like reef and seaweed and stuff like that, we could probably make it look like water's running through that stuff.
I would hope that we at least all kind of get on the same page. At the end of the day today, it's like, yeah, this is kind of somewhat direction we're going to go. Maybe it starts off and a wave crashes up, and after you see like this far shot or something of a wave kind of overtaking Kratos and Gaia on the side of the mountain or something like that, you're freaking out. I was like, you're probably freaking out right now because of the cinematics. And then afterwards, guys, like, something's fucked up right now. I can't move. And then Kratos has to go out and find out what that thing is, and he runs into this one thing. It's like, what the fuck is this thing? And it's obviously connected to something else. And then he finds the other thing later on. And at the end, there's this big reveal, and it's like, blah! And this is what this whole thing was that you were fighting it the whole time. I think that's cool pacing, because there's always a question in the player's head while they're proceeding. It's like, I don't know what the fuck this thing is.
When they first approached me to work on Poseidon, they told me it's going to be the very first big boss fight. Poseidon, if you remember from God of War 2, he looks more like just like a human god form. But in this game, he jumps down from Olympus into the ocean, and then he emerges out as a big water creature. This is my first sketch I did for Poseidon after doing a bunch of research on exactly what Poseidon is, the god of the ocean, the god of horses. So I thought to incorporate this design of a creature, of him being made of water and the actual waves kind of looking like horses. And then this is another one along the same veins, having a lot of horses, so just kind of going wacky. Another sketch I did was this one where I incorporated multiple Poseidon's heads throughout the design, showing that he's in control of this water tentacle. They liked this design a lot with the multiple heads, and they also liked the very first sketch with him leading the horses. They liked this one the best, so they liked this for the overall direction. They saw this, they liked the feel of this, but they didn't like the direction of the octopus limbs because of previous bosses that we've had, like the Kraken. So this is just one of the limbs of the Poseidon creature, one of the arms. This one I incorporated the multiple faces, and then a lot of the crab legs. And then this is another one I did, and this one I wanted to kind of bring back, because he's a god of horses, to kind of capture some of that feel. So eventually they decided that instead of having two different arms, you're gonna just be fighting one arm. And they also liked the idea of the horse. This is the final, the very end, you're gonna be opening up his chest and revealing like this membrane, jellyfish kind of membrane, where you stab and eventually kill one of his limbs. It's later going to be revealed to you that the whole time you've been only fighting one of his limbs right here. It's going to be a really cool, big moment in the game.
Turnarounds are looking pretty nice.
Today I'm going to be having an art review. We're getting to the completion of one of the Poseidon's limbs, so I'm working on the turnarounds now.
Get the animators up here and make sure that those limbs, the front limbs, are not too long for him. Like, he'd have to raise it up so high.
To get you right below, he'd have to be, like, basically have his arms way up like this and be going down like that, and that's probably going to look a little silly. Let's have Andy finish this up. But, Andy, can you save off a version of what you have right now so Adam can go over it with Bruno? And just keep on getting me up here to look at it. Cool? Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. So we just had the review. It went well. They liked the direction, and I think a lot of it because before this is the view they've always seen, but they've never seen the front view. So for them to be able to see the front view and to see how the shape, the silhouette actually makes a trident shape, they really like that idea. I just have to finish this up. I'll probably finish it up today, and it'll be given to the modelers from there.
First time I heard about Poseidon creature was 6 months or so ago, and I heard we're going to have a few of these huge Titan battles. This was the initial concept that was given to us. Things have changed proportionally for it to work right on screen, but it generally has the same feel. I still have a lot of sculpting left on this guy. A lot of this is just like the first pass. So right now I have more just the overall feel of it. Here's Kratos. He's pretty small compared to this guy. So I brought him in here just so I could have an idea of how big he's going to be. So when it comes to details, how high res this character has to be. So you can see him. He's tiny. I just want you guys to go over and check it out before I start making all the rocks for his face, So
yeah, I think it's good. Can we make sure that we're getting like some of this smaller detail like spread out over him as well?
Okay.
Can I see the scales on the back?
Oh, yeah.
It's really fucking cool.
Poseidon looks to be challenging for every department because it's so complicated. When I first saw the concept, really, I kind of looked at it and was like, what the hell are you guys doing? But that's pretty much what I say every time I see one of these crazy concepts anyway. You just go to your desk and beat your head against the table and figure out how the hell you're going to pull it off.
Poseidon definitely falls into that class of one of those kind of surprises that I know is coming down the pipe. A lot of water, and that's kind of one of my worries because making good water is hard.
We have to start off God of War 3 with a bang, and that's Poseidon. And Poseidon's going to be a water creature, so we have to make water look good on that character. I started doing some research on how we can make a character feel as if he's basically a waterfall, if there's water running down him. And I spent a couple hours, and I've put together the model that's behind me on the screen here. We basically want to try to prove the technology that we can make a model look like it has water running down it. We don't have the Poseidon model built yet, but we have Zeus. Poseidon is Zeus's brother. They'll probably have similar type proportions. So he was a good test. And this is a shader that I put together. It's pretty crazy with all these different connections. There's several different normal maps that are scrolling on top of each other. This probably took me 3 hours to set up the shader on top of an existing model. So where I want to take this now is I'm going to give it to the effects department, and I want to see like chunkier spraying water kind of coming down off of him. And then basically any area